What is going on, everybody? It's Jew with another review of a book. But just to get you started on who I am, I'm doing reviews on comics, movies, films, games, whatnot. This will be the channel. If you want any of that or want to get any reviews or you have any that you recommend to me, go ahead and let me know. Also, subscribe, leave, comment below, and let me know. So on this one, I'm reviewing this book called The Joneses. Called Joneses. Let's say Joneses. The Joneses. This book is a AWA upshot, and this was written by Michael Morisi, Alexandro Vitti, and I can't pronounce that one. But anyways, this is my first AWA upshot book that I've ever read. And this is volume 1. This is I can't tell you exactly how many pages is in it, but I want to say it's decently thick. All right, let's get into the book. So I'm just gonna give you a recap of what I read here. Well, this is a story about a world that has people with special abilities. These special abilities, they call them reborns. Reborns are something, supposedly something happened, and these people all of a sudden had special powers. It wasn't like they were just born this way or they came from another dimension, world, or galaxy. Nothing like that. It was, they haven't really gave you too much detail on what exactly happened, but they're saying something happened and all of a sudden people had special powers, abilities, and whatnot. So they just call them reborns, and these people, the world is concerned. The politicians, everybody's concerned. They're worried. They don't know what to think of this because they should be afraid, and that's the mindset, to be afraid. It's almost, it gives me a X-Men vibe. X-Men, how nobody wants to accept mutants. It's also there's a little wokeism in it where they talk about it's a little, I can't tell you if it's exactly wokeism because it's almost like a cop out. Some of the dialogue of someone saying, yeah, I accept them, I accepted Black Lives Matter. There's like dialogues in there like that. It's kind of very modern, like it's based off the last few years in real life, because they mentioned things about Black Lives Matter, the pandemic. Some of that stuff was mentioned in this book, but it's not a woke book, but it kind of has that discrimination with inclusion. They refer to inclusion and all that stuff, like, because there's two sides. There's people saying, how do we know all these reborns are bad people? We got to give them a chance. Maybe they're not, but it's also that scary side where you don't want to take that chance because their powers, abilities can be taken advantage of. Anyways, the Jones family, it's a dad, wife, daughter, son. The older daughter, and there is a younger son. This son is being bullied at school. Is always being overprotected by his sister, whatnot. And kids, or these people that bully him, they pretty much know that they kind of know that she's a reborn. I don't know if they know if it's her sister. I can't really tell you on that, but she comes out of the shadow and saves him all the time. She's trying to persuade him to show her his abilities, and it's like, nah, he ain't about to do that. Him and his mom are kind of on the same page. They don't want to do this. Now, the dad of the Jones, he wants to use it for good. He wants to use their abilities to, because he admits that he likes the powers that he has. But there's also, they have some friends, they have a family friends that pretty much have the same exact layout as them. They have daddy, mommy, son, and daughter. And they're called the Dillards. And they're the opposite of them. Even though they were best friends before they even knew or revealed that they were part of the reborns. Neither one knew, but there was some sketchy, they were kind of skeptical about certain things that happened, and finally they just revealed themselves, the Dillards did, to the Jones, and then they told them who they were, and they're like, how'd you know? Because you mentioned something about what happened before, but that story was never told. So how'd you know? We know that you had something to do with it. So the city and the mayors and all that, they started this watch group to try to find out who the reborns are, so they can get them and lock them up. And that it's kind of like a watch group where, and the mom of the Jones goes to this, and the dad, they go to it so they can hear the stuff people are saying, and it just brings more fear to them. But the Dillards' reason for taking advantage of their power is because they know that the world looks down on them. So they're angry, and they're just going to take advantage of it and do whatever they want. Rob people, or the mayors, threaten city council. All these different things. The dad and the daughter, pretty much, they out there. They want to be superhero vigilantes. And mom and son are like, nah, we don't want nothing to do with that. But the Jones family has to, now that they're revealed to the Dillards, and they see that the Dillards are on the other side and they're doing stuff, the dad's like, I gotta stop them. They're out there, they're acting a damn fool. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna stop them. But the Dillards want them to join them because they think they know the world is the way it is. So now it's not even getting to, they're not even really superheroes yet. They're not even vigilantes yet because they're kind of separated. But finally there's some giving in between the mom and the son to help daddy and daughter, but there's some friction in their marriage. It's a rough one, but as far as that's all I'm going to tell about the story. But I pretty much told a lot. But would I recommend this? Overall, it has a heavy dialogue. I'll say that the dialogue is extremely heavy. There's a lot of conversation, which is very good because it gives you stories and what people think. You got conversation with the mayor, you got conversation with city council, with the Dillards, the Jones, just different people engage in some type of conversation about the situations. So what I think is this, it gives, like I said, it gives me an X-Men vibe based off how people responded to the reborns. But they're definitely not the X-Men because they're not like a social group that has an outside build for special people. Nothing like that. It's just a family. Fantastic Four vibe in a little bit because they each have their own special powers, and there's 4 of them. Even though there's other reborns, but they're not together, except for the Dillards. It gives me a family vibe of like a very. It's not even the adult book. Like there's no adult language that I can recall. I think it's like maybe slight, maybe. I don't recall. There is some action scenes in here. The art is fairly good. It's not like super great. It's just fairly good art. It's like kind of like sketch drawing with paint. Like it's pretty good though. It's nothing that'll make you scratch your head, nothing like that. So AWA Upshot. This is the first time I ever read an AWA Upshot book. And right now I think I probably will engage into volume 2. So I gotta give it a rating though. It's for now. I'm kind of gonna stay middle. We'll go with a 6. Why is it a 6? I think probably because like I was talking about that dialogue. The dialogue is extreme. Like I'll sit there and diss another book for not having enough dialogue, but I'll diss this one for having engaged into heavy dialogue. It's not complicated dialogue though. Everything is understood. There's no complication what's going on. But you spend a lot of time waiting for that moment. And the sense is good. This is something that could be in a film. I can see this being not a web series, but like a Netflix series or something, because it has that family emotional chemistry, that I feel like viewers are better to get into. Also, then you have the action, the division, everything that comes with the stuff that people look for. So again, there's some good stuff to it, but for me, it's a 6, and I do think I'm going to read the next one. I just can't give it a high grade right now, because I'm trying to see where to go with it. Once again, when I read volume 1 or issue 1, sometimes it's hard to see where to go with it. It's hard for me to just place like a 8 or a 9. So, but if I give something below a 5 after issue 1, y'all know what time it is. I'm probably done with it. Even though I did do that with the other book, I did not give it below a 6 or something. I'll say a 6.5. I'll change it. It's a 6.5. It's almost a 7, but it's just not quite there yet. It's not quite there. It's about a 6.5. But it has its good and it has its down. So, but yeah, I read it. It's I think it has potential though. So that's the great part. As long as I see potential, we're going in. So yes. So this is the Jonas's. Volume 1, finish. We're going to move on to the next one.